To the Raw Dogger Sportscast Live. As always, I'm Sean Watson.
I'm Ryan Kessler.
Welcome in, everybody. As promised, we are back tonight. News breaking today. Todd Monken, former Ravens offensive coordinator, is now the head football coach for the Cleveland Browns.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, Ryan, I know you got some stuff to get off your chest. And I may or may not agree with you. I already told you that before, but go ahead.
So, whether this works out or not, I think this whole process was retarded at this point. And as we've seen, there's reports out there that Schwartz is kind of like going to tell them to go fuck themselves at this point.
Right.
So you're going to be shuffling up the whole staff. One good note. Special teams coach seems like he's going to be gone too. So,
which we wanted anyway.
Bubba Ventrone. Yeah. The guys ran some good offenses, but at the same time, I think this move, it signals that they think they could win some games next year. And who knows what happened with Shieldhouse, but I think if you went down to the last two with Monken and Schwartz, why are you going to break up what chemistry you had in the locker room to begin with?
Right.
So
I'm sending you a couple graphics. I meant to do this before we started the pod, but I don't know if you can put them up or not, but
probably.
And whether I can see them.
Yeah, I can.
Anyway, everybody, please get in the chat. Share this live for us. And always thank you for your opinions. We want your opinions on this too. I mean, we could just be up here and lecture you all day, but it's much, much more fun to have people in the chat give us their opinions. Anyway, Football Insider Tom Pelissero, the 49ers, among others, would likely have interest in Jim Schwartz if and when he becomes available. Schwartz was in the Browns facility the past couple days in anticipation of being named head coach. But he'd already told people that if he were passed over, he wasn't staying. So that kind of goes against what was reported a couple weeks back, and we talked about before, was that Schwartz, I don't know what happened, and maybe it has to do with who the actual hire was. But he even came out and said it was stated that he was going to stay with the Browns regardless if he became the head coach or not. But now that we know he was in the facility for the last couple days, something happened there that led him
there was
to
a lot of buzz.
He was definitely going to get the position.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the buzz was. It was just going to be Schwartz. Once Udinski kind of bowed out and it was down to Shieldhouse, I think.
Monken and Schwartz.
Yeah, with Monken and Schwartz, I think that's what the buzz was. So I don't know. You could put it at the feet of Haslam, but at the same time, I mean, who's to say Andrew Berry didn't make this decision?
Right. And he may have. Any chance that no, go ahead.
I'm just saying, because the offense is what needs work. I think talent-wise on the defensive side,
100%.
I mean, it's not like they're going to go to a 3-4.
No.
You have an offensive coach, so he's going to bring somebody in that runs a 4-3. Might not be the wide 9, and it might be Jason Tarver might get bumped up to that position. So you might not get a lot of change there, but you're obviously going to have the change at the top. So it's going to make some significant change in the locker room. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
When we first kind of started down talking about this coaching hire and the process and then the other vacancies that became available, Todd Monken, you and I were both pretty excited about Todd Monken being out there. And then he had the interview, then he got a second interview, but we talked about, Harbaugh wanting to keep Monken and him being the front runner to go to the Giants, which obviously now he's not. And that was also part of the reason why they couldn't come to they ultimately came to firing Harbaugh in Baltimore.
Reportedly.
But what I didn't want to happen was like, I didn't want to, and I've been solid on this the whole time. I didn't want to mess with the defensive side of the ball. So, and I was worried about hiring Schwartz as the head, but this is worse because now.
That's why I said just hire Schwartz.
Yeah.
Why couldn't Monken been your offensive coordinator? Because didn't they already hire an offensive coordinator in New York?
Yeah, I didn't look and see who that was. Well, they had to have. They had to have, right? I mean, I think we looked it up the other day, but Garrett gets traded.
So
yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's their position. This is not a rebuild move. This is a you think you can go out and win some games next year move. Mm-hmm. Which on that aspect of it, fuck it. All sales ahead. Let's see some aggressive moves in the offseason then. Bring in some outside talent, bring some offensive linemen in here, build around the quarterback.
I will tell you
this.
Just
my no, go ahead.
Well, I just wrote down a few stats here. I'm happy that the Browns are going down this path of an offensive minded coach. But like I said, not at the expense of losing Jim Schwartz. Now, Jim Schwartz is still under contract, and I did look this up. So potentially, if Schwartz did go to another team, the Browns also have rights to him, just like Tomlin does in Pittsburgh. So let's say that you could make a deal. Now, I was thinking about this. What if you went ahead and made a deal and Schwartz goes and he has to sign off on it, goes to San Francisco? Could you get Mac Jones for Jim Schwartz? Or do you think that's a move the Browns might even make?
I don't think that would be the only thing involved in a trade like that. I think if anything, it would be him for Brandon Ayuk.
Okay. It's not going to be.
I mean, I don't for a defensive coordinator, you're going to trade away a valuable asset. I think they'd be able to get some decent price on the market for Mac Jones.
Okay.
I mean, just my opinion, unless they really love Jim Schwartz, which they might, but I don't know. That just seems like a lot.
I'm just saying San Francisco makes, and Pelissero kind of talked about that. Of course, Robert Saleh taking the job with Tennessee now. And that San Francisco defense is not what it has been in the past. Now, they've had their injuries, Warner with his injury, other injuries, on that defensive side of the ball, but like always. But I can see, let's say that, hey man, we can go and get Jim Schwartz and it's going to cost us Mac Jones. Do you think that they would consider that? Because in my opinion, Mac Jones.
The Niners would consider it?
I'm sorry?
You said if the Niners would consider it?
If they would consider it, do you think you would make that trade? I mean, if Jim Schwartz is not going to stay, obviously you want to be able to get something for him because you have the rights to him.
And
I just thought of this.
I would not be mad at that. I just don't see that being viable just because when's a coach ever been traded for a player? Usually it's draft picks.
Correct. It can be done though.
And two, I think with Mac Jones, if they're going to trade him, you're probably going to be able to get a second, third round draft pick, probably a fourth or a fifth with that or something.
Do you think that's more valuable than Jim Schwartz being the DC?
I think GMs probably think that's more valuable.
Okay. I mean, considering Kyle Shanahan, who everybody loves, and San Francisco being right there on the precipice of it again, but their defense gave up all those points in Seattle. I don't know. I don't know if I think the Niners would strongly consider it. Now, what I don't want to have happen, and actually Josh brought this up to me. He texted me on the side, and he said that he told me Schwartz is from Baltimore. Would be for Schwartz to go to the Ravens.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've kind of heard. That might be a possibility.
Go
But
to the Ravens.
Is Baltimore
Jesse Minter?
Is Baltimore going to trade in division?
Right. Because you're definitely not going to go ahead and let that happen with the rights to Schwartz without a significant trade.
Right. Well, and he might be pissed. He might be pissed now, and it might end up where he stays. But that's just starting off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's anything to do with Monken himself. I think it's just to do with. I think the buzz was that Schwartz was getting the job, and then all of a sudden you get a curveball.
Right. So here's the other thing too. Say what you want about Schwartz, or not Schwartz. Say what you want about Monken. And once again, I don't know how many times I can say this. I didn't want to get Monken in position and sacrifice Schwartz. But Harbaugh, in his 3 years that Monken was with the Ravens, just a few stats for you here. 3 years with Baltimore, Ravens led the league in rushing. Now, 2 of those years were with Derrick Henry, but their offensive line was on the decline. Okay, 2nd in total scrimmage yards and 3rd in points per game.
And they really didn't have that like the greatest weapons on the outside.
Right.
Like Zay Flowers.
They were 3rd in rushing touchdowns, 5th in receiving touchdowns. And they led in his 2nd year there, he led Baltimore to the number 1 offense in the league.
Right.
So say what you want, but also Harbaugh, there's a reason why he was stumping for this guy. He wanted him with him. So that's got to make you feel pretty good. Also, the Browns had him as offensive coordinator under Freddie Kitchens, but he did not call plays during that season.
And that whole season was a Freddie dumpster fire.
Yeah, except for Nick Chubb, who was 2nd in the league in rushing.
Right.
So we know that that's another terrible season.
Well, Monken was one of the guys that was kind of saying, they're installing stuff during the week that they don't even prepare to use in the game.
Yeah.
During that time.
You mean Kitchens?
Freddie, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Monken was the one he was saying that to reporters.
Right.
So obviously that's smoothed over.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this can't work out, but it just.
I definitely don't want to lose Schwartz.
They don't like to make anything not a splash, don't they?
Right. Another little tidbit that I found out too was that Monken he wanted to draft Shador before we drafted him. And Shador actually said he didn't want to get drafted by the Ravens, which is why they kept on falling, and we eventually drafted him because Shador didn't want to be behind Lamar Jackson.
Right.
He wanted to go somewhere we potentially could play right off the get.
Right.
Now, he didn't with us either, but
that's another reason. Another reason why I don't really see that Mac Jones thing happening.
Yeah.
I think this year, I really don't see a point in adding to the quarterback room. You roll out there with Shador, you have Deshaun as your backup, and you trade away the midget.
Yeah.
Bring in Huntley or someone as your third. You know what I mean?
Jameis?
Or even Jameis. and build around the quarterback, because that's what they have to do right now.
Right.
You don't have resources to spend on the quarterback position that you need to put elsewhere.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, you got to go get a guy that it's going to be cheap.
Deshaun will be gone next year, Josh, but we can't get rid of him yet.
No.
That's why I'm saying he can ride the bench. And if he's making all that money and Shador gets hurt, he can get his ass out there and get roughed up. It is what it is.
Yeah, Lamar can't be taught or worked with. He cost Monken and Harbaugh their jobs. Well, ultimately, the Ravens made the decision to go with Lamar Jackson instead of Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh. It's really, that's brass tacks. That's what it boiled down to. They chose Lamar over John Harbaugh. So, I mean, that's fact. It just is. So, which I get it from an organizational standpoint. The guy was a 2-time MVP, but
and you have to. You got all your eggs in that basket. Yeah,
exactly. But it's going to be interesting.
Younger.
I mean, do I fear Baltimore's defenses? I mean, with Jesse Minter there, yeah, I fear it a lot more if Jim Schwartz ends up going there.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm really kind of lost for words. Like I said, I just hope that over the next couple of days that they are able to work things out with Schwartz and go ahead and keep him in that building. Just like you said. I mean, I'm just trying to be positive about it and see if it can happen. Because Jim Schwartz, he already went down the path of being a head coach in Detroit. He's not going to take the Raiders or the Arizona Cardinals head coaching position. Right. He's already been down that road. He's going to put himself.
He hasn't even been interviewed there.
Yeah. Well, he's going to put himself in a contender type situation. So that's what's going to happen.
Well, and he hasn't had doesn't seem like teams have that much interest in him. It was pretty much here in Baltimore's the only place he had interviews, right?
Yeah. That's correct. So, but be able to pull Schwartz away from the Browns, unless Schwartz really goes off the deep end, brings out the knife and the gun and says, I'm going to go to Baltimore and stick it to the Cleveland Browns organization. Just because he's
probably.
I mean, I can see that happening too.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Just what we need.
Throw 2 L's up on the scoreboard there. At least for the first year.
Right. Anyway. What else? Anything else you want to talk about as far as this goes? 59 years old, by the way.
Doesn't want to work for that hire because that hire wants full control of both sides of the ball. Yeah, I think that's some of it. That's what we talked about. Like, I think Schwartz would have stayed here if it was one of the younger guys because he would have had that. It would have been his thing over there. And maybe that hasn't been discussed. You would think that this would have been discussed if they were adamant about keeping Schwartz.
What's Mary Kate Cabot, which I didn't get on her Twitter today. I didn't really see anything as what she might have said. As far as like Cleveland Browns beat writers, main beat writers, I didn't know if she put any nuggets out there or not. Anything more than, Pelissaro, which seemed to have a pulse on it. And then, even Ian Rappaport went ahead and retweeted his tweet. So
she didn't really make any specific tweets.
Right. Okay.
They did hire an O-line coach today as well.
Who's that?
George Warhop. He was actually here as offensive line coach from 2009 to 2013.
Okay.
They actually had some pretty good offensive lines those years.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's just another one of those like what the fuck moments. But maybe when everything settles down, it'll make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it's obviously going to be an upgrade of offensive scheme, play calling, and just coaching in general, probably.
Absolutely.
And they're already purging some coaches that were on the staff, so I like that. If that entails us having to reinvent the the scheme on the defensive side of the ball, they have the players there that can play. So,
I mean, in a perfect world, I'd love to hear the news somehow get out that, hey, we brought everybody together. Monken has pleaded his case to Schwartz. He wants Schwartz to stay on. I would love to hear that.
That would be the perfect world.
That would be perfect.
Because we even talked about that. I was like, if they hired Monken, you want Schwartz there. But is Jason Tarver ready for it?
Right.
He's learned under him for 3 years. He was pretty much the assistant to the defensive coordinator, right? The linebackers coach.
Right.
So, who says we can't have our own Jesse Menner?
Sure.
On the defensive staff.
Sure.
It sucks. I love Schwartz, but this is the way they're going, and I do agree that having an offensive coach is probably what they need right now.
Now, I'm going to throw this out there as a long shot, very, very long shot, and I don't think it's going to happen. Well, another team that I thought would be in the mix for Schwartz too would be the Bengals. Right. I mean, absolutely, they're like second to last in scoring. They gave up the most touchdowns this last season of any team in the league, just right above the Commanders. So, but the team that would be a long shot, and I don't think it's going to happen. But imagine this, though. What if Jim Schwartz went back to the Lions as the defensive coordinator? Because that team needs that. They need that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really been it hasn't been their entire problem.
To me, it would make sense if they're going to ship him off anywhere, it's going to be somewhere in the NFC.
Right.
And that's different. Well, not different ownership, but a different owner now, like the daughter or whatever, right? When he was there.
Yeah, I think Ford. No, they showed her in this off season. I think I might still be the one. I don't know. I have to find that out. But
definitely a different front office.
She's pretty old. I mean,
can't take her house. She's too old.
Anyway. All right. Anything else you want to hit on tonight?
No, I think that's good.
All right.
We got a reaction to the hiring. Now is see how the staff fills out. See what happens with the Schwartz news for the next couple of days. We'll probably get back on here maybe Friday night.
Yeah.
Saturday night, something like that.
Right.
Once we get more details. But if you guys are watching and you want to get on our Super Bowl squares,
yes, please.
Please hit us up either in the DMs or DMs for our page or our personal DMs, and we'll get you on there. You can do Zelle, whatever, PayPal, whatever. We'll figure it out. Venmo.
Right.
Drive by, whatever you want to do.
Right. Fold up a $5 bill like a football. See if you can just
$5 squares, $100 winner per quarter, and the rest goes to help us pay for this streaming shit. So we appreciate it. And those are getting filled up. So we'll do a drawing for that. Probably whenever it gets filled, but probably Monday.
We'll definitely do a live drawing, whether we use a randomizer or if we just do it the old-fashioned way. But it's definitely going to be live for everybody that that's in on the board, and we'll go ahead and send the copies of those boards out so everybody can get ready.
Yep.
And then hopefully next week, after past this weekend, we're going to go ahead and really try to get into our Super Bowl breakdown and our predictions. Of course, we'd really love to have some people in, tell us their predictions. Why? That's very important. I mean, don't just say, well, Seattle's good. No, I want to know why.
Maybe do our bet of the day.
Yeah.
You guys want to go into parlay hell with me? I did make a little bit of money last weekend.
Nice.
Finally.
Yes, you did. Yep.
Finally.
I did a couple nights ago. Took a little surefire. I made a 50. made a 50 on a 10. So,
yep, we'll have that coverage coming, and stay with us through the off season here. But yeah, hit us up on the Super Bowl board. Let's get it rolling.
Yeah, let's get this thing filled out, get that done and over with, and then also please like, subscribe to all our platforms. The YouTube thing's still kind of up in the air right now. We're trying to get some kinks worked out on it. But yeah, if you could go ahead and subscribe to us on there at Dogs Raw on TikTok, that helps us out a bunch. And then Raw Dogger Sportscast on YouTube, and of course, Facebook Live if you're on there. And share this podcast with people. Share it. That really helps us as well. So,
yep.
All right.
We'll be doing a lot of interactive stuff this year. So,
yep. And we'll be doing that too. So, all right. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
All right. All right. Till next time. Raw Doggers out.
Raw Doggers out.